In tonight's 7 Up Front report, we're taking a closer look at the people who are wrongfully convicted in our state and around the country. Some of the latest reports show that wrongful convictions occur in 6% of criminal convictions, which result in a prison sentence. Joining me tonight is David Williams, who is an attorney from the Western Michigan University Cooley Innocence Project. Mr. Williams, thanks for being there tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, let's begin with how this can happen to a person and what someone can and should do if they feel they've been wrongfully arrested for a crime.
Well, this happens usually when something is missed in an investigation, and often pieces of evidence don't come out at trial for one reason or another. And usually it's not until years later that someone like our project gets involved, and we can finally investigate and take time and figure out what went wrong. As far as what someone should do if they feel they've been wrongfully arrested, they should contact a defense attorney as soon as possible, the best one that they can afford, and really try and get that resolved.
One of your most recent cases involved the release of Kenneth Nixon, who was wrongfully convicted for the bombing of a Detroit home that killed 2 children. How did you prove that he did not receive a fair trial?
Well, we worked with the Wayne County Conviction Integrity Unit. They're a grant partner of ours. And so we first received a letter from Mr. Nixon saying that he was wrongfully convicted and asking for our assistance. We started looking into the case. We found that there were inconsistent statements made by one of the key witnesses at trial. And we also looked into a jailhouse informant who was used as a key witness to locate him as a suspect in the crime. So once we did that, we talked to the Wayne County Conviction Integrity Unit. We presented the case. They agreed with us, and they granted relief.
Well, the smiles on the faces tell the story there, no question, with these individuals who are being freed. Is DNA testing, has that been a game changer in regards to cases before January of 2008?
Absolutely. Most of the older cases that our office deals with are DNA cases. We use DNA evidence usually collected from when the crime occurred, and we have advanced testing now today, and we can figure out we can find DNA that wasn't available at the time of trial, usually DNA that excludes our clients and allows them to go home.
And it's, of course, awful for someone to face years in prison for a crime they did not commit. Are wrongful convictions on the rise, and are there new rules being put in place that may stop these types of convictions moving forward?
I wouldn't say these kinds of convictions are on the rise. Thankfully, we have an innocence movement across the country, and luckily here in Michigan, we have 2 conviction integrity units, one in the AG's office and one through Wayne County. And, these kinds of cases, there's a lot of heavy lifting to do on the prosecutor's end. A lot of times they're overworked, underpaid, and they don't have all the tools necessary to investigate the way that they should. But thankfully, like I said, Wayne County and Kim Worthy down there, she's a great prosecutor, and the conviction integrity unit that they have down there is just great.
It's important work that you're doing, David Williams, and the Innocence Project there at Cooley and Western Michigan University. We thank you for that, and thank you for spending a few minutes with us here on UpFront tonight.
Thank you.
Have a great night. Glenda?